And I heard pop, and then I heard pop, 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 pop. And at that, when the pops were going off, my leg had slid. Then I see his body fall.
This is Karen Newell recounting the tragic murder of her husband, Jon Newell. On February 20th, 1994, Jon was shot multiple times on the side of Bee Line Expressway, Orlando. But behind what seemed like a random act of violence actually lies Karen's own sinister master plan. And now, in custody, she's about to use every trick she knows to manipulate everyone around her.
Obviously, I didn't do anything or they would have arrested me by now for murder.
Karen was so confident with her statements that she invited the media for an interview to tell her side of the story. But would she succeed with her efforts, or would justice ultimately prevail?
I haven't done anything, and if I am falsely arrested, I will sue this place.
It all started back on February 20th, 1994, when 29-year-old Jon Newell planned a trip to Cocoa Beach, Florida. And what was supposed to be an innocent trip to a beach led to a story so disturbing that even the seasoned police would be stunned. That night, Jon was shot multiple times on State Road 250 near Bee Line Expressway in Orlando, as he and Karen dealt with car trouble and what initially appeared to be a carjacking gone wrong. As the investigation moved further, the police arrested Karen as the main suspect. But unlike typical cases, where the suspect is interrogated by the police, Karen chose to give an interview to the media to share her side of the story. And contrary to our usual route, we are using a suspect's interview for the first time, as it highlights many details that are crucial for a comparison with the forensic evidence. What followed next was a string of lies that twisted the story in a way that would fit the narrative of an evil criminal.
Why would you do that?
Because I feel like everybody is being misled to what's going on, and that I'm being falsely accused of things that aren't going on in reference to my husband's death last Sunday night. And I wanted to set the record straight for all my friends' sake and my family's sake that are being probably ridiculed at this moment for Jon's death, and it shouldn't be like that. I mean, we should be able to be grieving for my husband, not being put through the ringer through the media and the police department and everybody else who's calling my house and hanging up. I think that's very wrong. And I think this is becoming a three-ring circus.
We have run no stories, Karen, suggesting anything other than the story as you told it. What are people saying that has you upset?
What has me upset is that, and the newspapers, let me verify, we are going to say the newspapers also, is that they're saying, and they won't say it verbally, but they have pretty much accused my roommate, mine and Jon's roommate, of practically killing my husband. And they are trying to say, like I say, in coherence, they're trying to say that I had something knowledge of it. I mean, I guess that's what they're trying to say in a sense. That is what Detective Hinkie has been predicting. He's come here. He has done nothing but harass me from the moment this has all started. I've tried to be very cooperative with this man. I've gotten nothing but total craziness from this ever since it's happened. I mean, I've tried to describe things for them that happened in the event of the night. I tried to give them a description of what I saw, and I've been nothing more than helpful. I went to the police department and they made me go through a formal layout of what I saw with 2 cars. And I let them search my home the night after. I let them fingerprint me. I've let them do ballistic tests on me. Obviously, I didn't do anything or they would have arrested me by now for murder. I haven't done anything. And if I am falsely arrested, I will sue this place. I will sue them very much for false arrest because I did not do anything. And that's what I came on the air to say. I didn't do anything, and I don't feel that I should be being judged by everyone who was not there. They don't know me and Jon like Jon and I know each other. They don't know PJ, who was our roommate, and they are falsely accusing someone they have no knowledge of. And I think that's wrong. If I'd have had a female roommate, this would not be going on right now. I do not believe they would be coming down so hard if it had been a female roommate.
It's an unusual arrangement, is it not, to have a husband and wife and a young male roommate?
No, because my girlfriend at one point was going to move in, and only because she reconciled with her boyfriend did she not move in.
Let me have you go through as quickly as you can the scenario that night on 5/20. Take me through it from your eyes. What did you see?
Okay. From the moment that we got off the 520, we got off the Bee Line onto the 520. We got off, we started, there was a vibration in our car. I mean, I'm going through this quickly for you. There was a vibration in our car, in the front of our steering wheel, okay? My husband told me to pull off to the side of the road because he thought the tire, I had ran over something with the tire coming through the toll booth.
You were driving?
I was driving, right. Because one reason I was driving, and let's make this very clear, is my husband had been drinking that day on the beach. And I'm very against drinking and driving. So that is the main reason I was driving and the only reason I was driving. Okay. For that is the, anyways, when we got off the interstate, I'm going to call it the interstate, we got off, we pulled off to the side of the road and John got out, we both got out of the cars. We pulled up, opened our doors, we turned off the headlights, turned on the flashers so that we were not blinding anybody that was coming in our direction is mainly why we turned off our headlights. I mean, I can't stress that enough. We didn't want anybody to wreck into us because we were blinding them. We got out, John looked to the front of the car, and then he went to the back of the car. He went to lean down. He told me to look under the car. I looked under the car, leaned under.
You're both outside the car.
Well, at that point, I had leaned. When he told me to look under the car, I was still hanging half out of the car. I got out of the car, walked around to the front of the car, and he told me to look under there and see if something, maybe I'd ran over rubber or something, and maybe it was jammed up under the car. Maybe that was giving the tire a vibration. I leaned under, and, and this is all happening fast now, okay, from this point on. All of a sudden, I mean, there's a ton of traffic going by. This is what remarkably believes me that I can't believe somebody else didn't see this, okay, and hasn't come forth. All of a sudden, I hear a car. I hear someone say, Carl, get his wallet. Carl, get his wallet. I leaned over to the best. I mean, I was freaked because I didn't understand what was going on. And you remember, I was up under the car at this point. I mean, I was up under, looking under the car to see if there was something under my car, like my husband had said he thought there was.
Karen seems quite composed while telling her side of the harrowing story. That's because, contrary to a usual interrogation, Karen doesn't face immediate pressure from detectives to confess the truth. But that doesn't mean she is being truthful here. As per the investigative evidence, the car which Karen claims to belong to the carjackers could not be found. This means Karen's lies have started to fall like a house of cards. And in the next interview, these lies will only get bigger.
I hear a lot of gunshots go off, pop, 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 pop. I freeze, my leg goes out from under me. I guess I freaked these guys out. I don't think they realized that I was in front of the car because the way my doors were open probably and the way the flashers were going, they didn't see me. I really don't believe that they saw me in the front of the car because our doors were wide open. You know, it's not like they were wide open. And I don't believe that someone saw me sitting there. I think they thought they were just robbing a guy on the side of the road who was broke down. I mean,
You're outside of the car at this point?
Yes. I'm under the front of the car, looking under the car to see if we had run over something, and that's what was giving us the vibration. I mean, that's what he told me to do.
And someone says, Carl, get his wallet?
In a black voice. I remember it very distinctly because the way,
so
Carl, get his wallet. Carl, get his wallet. It was like, you know, in that tone. You know, I mean,
and then gunshots.
That's what I heard. Then I heard pop, and then I heard pop, 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 pop. And at that, when the pops were going off, my leg had slid because, I mean, I freaked. I didn't know what was going on. I knew there was a ton of traffic going by me, and I'm hearing, I mean, I can't say it more. You had to have been there. It was just like, it was instantaneous.
Then what?
And then I see his body fall to the side. And I don't know, I hear the car turn away. I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm still laying under the car. I can't move. I feel like my whole body is stuck there. And I'm looking, I'm trying to see what's going on. I get the tag number. You know, I get what I saw was most of the tag number anyways. I try to get a good description of the car. I don't know, it was too freaky. You know, it was just too freaky.
And you described the car as what?
It was, what I remember seeing was the tag number, and it was SR2, and then a 1. A 1 keeps sticking out of my mind for some reason. But the only reason I can't see more of it is because one of the lights was broken on the side of the tag. I mean,
so there's something more off to the right.
Right.
And the car looked like what?
It was a dark, I won't say, it was either black or a deep blue, and it was and it had the sign "Bad Boys" in the windows.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the only reason I even knew there was more than one occupant, because when they were driving away, when I jumped up from behind the car, once I knew they were leaving, I saw the heads in the back of the window. I mean, and I was freaking.
How many people?
I saw at least 2. I know for a fact I saw 2 people. They think, I mean, the cops are speculating that maybe there was a third person also, because, I mean, I can't say I saw a third person for sure because of the Bad Boys sign. I mean, it could have been just the way the sign was right there. And I might have not been able to see a third person.
And then you went to your husband, and what did you do?
I started freaking out. I started running in the middle of the road. I mean, I almost got hit by a car twice, running out in the middle of the road. I was trying to flag people down. They were swerving around me. They were avoiding me. They wouldn't stop. Nobody would just stop and help us.
But finally somebody did.
No. Somebody came out from the dirt road. This older couple came out from the dirt road, the road that we were on, just like minutes after this happened. And I said, "Did you see who did it? Did you see who did it?" And they said, no. And I said, "Can you get out of the car? Can you get out of the car? Please don't leave me here. Please don't leave me here. I need you to help me. My husband's been shot. I don't know what happened. You got to help me." And they wouldn't get out of their car. They just took off, and I didn't know if they were coming back or what. And then I just ran back out to the road, and I was trying to get people to stop, and nobody would stop. And finally, this car came, and he swerved past me, and he ran off the side of the road, and he backed up, and I told him what was happening, and he said he was freaked. I mean, he rolled up his window. He wouldn't even talk to me. He was scared. He thought he thought maybe I was trying to lure him out of the car or something. And I said, "I need to call the cops. Can you go call the cops? These people were here, and they left me here, and I don't know if they're going to go call the cops." And then he says, "Well, do you have a cellular phone?" And I said, "Yeah, matter of fact, I do have a cellular phone." And I ran to my car, and I got the keys out of the ignition, and I opened up my trunk, and I was frantically throwing things around trying to find my cellular phone. And I said, "I don't want to put it." I said, "Can I use your car? Can you just plug it in?" Because I was too scared to go in my own car. I don't know why. I was just scared. So he plugged it in for me, and we started trying to dial 911. And I kept getting disconnected. His stupid thing kept releasing my phone jack, and I couldn't get the cops to stay on. And I kept trying to call him back. And in the meantime, I'm trying to get him to get out of the car and help my husband. He wouldn't get out of the car. He just wouldn't help him. And the cops keep telling me that he was scared. He was scared.
The so-called loving wife, Karen, is putting on a strong performance during the interview, complete with crocodile tears. But the problem is, the evidence and her past with Jon bear no resemblance to how she is portraying herself. For instance, Karen never discloses the details of how she forged Jon's identity to purchase $1,500 worth of jewelry using his credit card. Perhaps Karen avoids this information to maintain her public image for the interview. Another red flag is that she doesn't reveal what exactly happened with Jon's wallet after the carjacking. So to get more clarity, the interviewer is about to ask a $1 million question.
Did Jon have any enemies that you knew of?
No, not that I know of. Not totally, no. I mean, I know that the gentleman at his work, Bruce, and him always had bad words, but I can't ever imagine him doing that.
Do you think this is a completely random killing of somebody who just happened to be on the side of the road? Or do you think somebody, for some reason, was out to get your husband?
I don't know what to think. That's speculating again. I don't know. I mean, so many people are putting so much things in my mind. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know if it was robbery, if somebody was out. Maybe they meant to get me and him. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I can't imagine anybody wanting to hurt either one of us. We're the most giving people there are. I mean, we've helped so many people. I can't imagine why somebody would do this to us, period.
Why the pills?
What pills?
You took pills a few nights after that.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm just tired. I was tired. I just was tired. I wanted all this to be a nightmare. I just wanted to be with my husband. I mean, I feel like my life is ruined now without him. I have no life without him.
And
I mean, the media was driving me crazy. I have the cops hounding me night and day, wanting me to remember stuff I don't remember. And at that point, that's the night that they told me that they thought my roommate had killed him. And they're telling me, "You're running around with a murderer. You're running around with a murderer. If you walk out of here tonight, I can't protect you. You're running around with a murderer." It was just too much. I hadn't slept in days. I hadn't eaten in days since this happened. I mean, I was a total...
But you're pregnant, you were going to kill you and your baby?
At that point, you don't think about that. You know, that's not what was going through my mind. You want me to answer something that I don't. I mean, I just, you know, how would you like to know that somebody that's been living with you all that month is being accused of just killing your husband, who was his friend too? That's an awful lot to take in.
What is this roommate's name again?
PJ.
Is that all you want to tell me, PJ?
Yeah, Peter Giffen, that's his name.
Peter Giffen?
Yes.
Giffin?
E-N.
And he's what, about 18, I'm told? Something
Yes.
like that?
Although Karen tries to brush over her roommate Peter's involvement in this murder, the upcoming questions from the interviewer will reveal something far more sinister about him.
One of the reasons you may be having problems here is you don't have to go far. We didn't have to go far to have neighbors tell us that you and Jon had at least one huge fight out in public view.
Where was this?
At your home.
We have never
in
had
Lockhart.
A fight. We've never had a fight.
That it was a stormy relationship. That
who are these people? Don't even know us. We don't even socialize with our neighbors. So how would they know any such thing?
They don't have to know you to relate what they saw.
We've never had a fight.
How would you?
I don't care what anybody says. We've never had a fight.
How would you characterize your relationship with your husband and with your roommate?
My relationship with my husband, to me, was great. And like I said, if my husband was here right now, he would tell you so. Okay? There's no hatefulness. I don't even believe in the word hate. First of all, we loved each other very much. We got along very well. No matter what anybody thinks, everybody is speculating. I can't believe my neighbors would even say anything like that, because that is a total lie. Jon and I would never air, even if we did have a fight, out in public. First of all, we're very private people. Okay? We never had a reason to fight. He loved me. I loved him. He worshiped the ground I walked on. I loved him very, very much. Okay? And that is wrong for anybody to say.
Did you love PJ or did he love you?
I don't know what PJ loves. PJ is his own person. I don't love PJ, no. No, PJ is my friend. That's it.
He had no reason to resent the fact that you and Jon were married?
You're asking me to ask that? You need to ask
PJ. Well, you would know.
PJ.
You're friends.
No, not that I know of. Like I said, not that I know of. PJ never treated me and Jon nothing more than friends. And that's what makes this so hard to believe, is that everybody's trying to make this some kind of love scenario, like some kind of movie. People are watching too many movies. That's exactly what this is, because this is nothing like that. Like I said, if I'd had a female roommate, you guys wouldn't be asking me these things right now. I guarantee you wouldn't be asking me these things. No, because it was a male and because PJ is very good looking and things, this is what this is all about.
Why do the police, in your mind, seem to be following this trail of you either did it or had it done?
I don't know.
That's what you're telling me.
I don't know.
That's what you're telling me.
Well, that's because that's what they're making me feel like, and that's what they're making everybody feel like. This is what they did to Jon's family when they were there. They had Jon's family in so much anguish. I mean, here these people are coming all the way from Korea, Wisconsin, and they're telling them that maybe their daughter-in-law might have had their son killed. And no, Jon and I have never had a fight. I don't care what somebody told you. We've never had a fight. We never had nothing to fight about.
Despite being confident, Karen understands that the interview is not working in her favor, but she remains unbothered, insisting on her innocence. Karen tactfully evades mentioning that she hired Peter to attack Jon with a baseball bat in 1993. And conveniently, Karen also leaves out the incident of poisoning Jon a few days before his death. But to Karen's misfortune, none of these strategies will work in her favor. Her next statements are about to come across as the delusional ramblings of someone desperate to be a hero.
You weren't angry with him for any reason?
No, we had a great day that day. Matter of fact, we had a fabulous day. We all played volleyball. We were in the jacuzzi. We were in the pool. They were drinking strawberry daiquiris. We had nothing to fight about. Nothing. I don't drink, so I didn't have anything to drink. I've never drank a day in my life. So, no.
And where was PJ
and I'm glad
where
that
was
I can
PJ
say
that day?
He was with us. We were all at the beach together. We were all at the beach. We all hung out together all the time.
Where was he at the time of the killing?
I don't know. I mean, he was on his way back home as far as I know. I mean, that's all I can say. I can't speak for his time zone. I wasn't with him. I was with my husband. Okay, so I can't speak for where he was. I wasn't with him. I mean, the only reason he even had our own vehicle is because his was just in a wreck. I mean, and that's very proven. I mean, you can go right over to where his vehicle is towed to, and they'll show that.
I got to ask you this, because the only reason that this thing seems to still be festering is we haven't had a rash of drive-by gangland hits like this one you've said is.
No, I'm not saying it. The cops are saying, so let's rephrase.
Well, you're saying somebody came by. You just think, how would you characterize this? Is this a random thing, or did somebody follow you and know?
Characterize it. I don't know. They thought that maybe we cut somebody off at a point and they got pissed off at us. You know, that was one of the assumptions the cops made, is that maybe did somebody follow? Was somebody pissed at us at the beach that day? I don't remember anybody being mad at us.
Nobody can find the vehicle.
Well, I don't know, but nobody's told me that until you just said it. That's the first I've heard of that. All I know is that everybody keeps telling me they're still looking for the vehicle. Okay? That's what I keep being told.
Well, if you'd like to look right in the camera, because this is your best chance, what do you say and what do you feel for the people who suggest that maybe for whatever reason, Karen Newell or this other fellow had your husband killed?
For people who say that, you're wrong. You're totally wrong. You have no concept of what you're saying. My husband was not killed by me. I can't say who he was killed by because I don't know. I wish I did, because they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent for killing him, this savage way that they killed him. I wish at times that I had gone with him, because now my life is ruined without him, and I miss him very much. And I think it's horrible that I'm being put through all this for something I didn't do, or something that I had no knowledge of knowing. And that's what I would have to say.
There's absolutely nothing you can tell us or the police to shed any more light on this case.
I've told them everything I can possibly remember. No. I mean, I've gone through every inch of this that I can remember. I mean, until my mind will remember more, you know, you got to remember this is very devastating. I mean, I watched, in a sense, my husband be killed. I mean, from the noise and everything that I heard, you know, I mean, maybe I didn't see him actually shot, but I mean, I watched him fall to the ground and die, you know, and that's a lot, and that was a lot to take in. And I don't remember any more than I know. That's all I know.
Final question. How are you feeling as we speak now?
I feel very angry, and I feel very hurt that I've been so helpful to the police, and they're turning this into a circus, and that they're just gasping at whatever they can get to try to put somebody in jail for the wrong reasons, and that they should be out trying to follow what they should be looking for, which is the guys that I thought and know that I saw. And that's what I feel right now. A lot of disappointment in our system. That when somebody says what they saw, that they try to change it and make it something that it wasn't. You know, and that's what this seems like it's being made.
Why would they do that?
I don't know why they're doing it. Because they're cops, and they have to go at it like a friend told me recently, they have to go at every angle. They have to look at every possibility, and they always look at the relatives first, the ones closest to the victim. You know, and that's their job. And I appreciate them doing that point of their job. But they're looking at the wrong person when they're looking at me.
With her perfect facade for the interview, Karen accidentally confesses one truth. Her roommate, PJ, was at the beach with Jon and her, but she contradicts herself by saying that she was not with PJ after they had all left the beach. This is also a very telling sign of a killer trying to separate herself from her co-defendant. Moreover, another investigation showed that Jon's gun was stolen prior to his death, and as per the forensic reports, he was murdered with the same stolen caliber. Additionally, police knew Karen had a keen interest in Jon's recent $500,000 life insurance policy, providing a strong motive for the murder. Regardless of Karen's statements in the interview, the truth lies bare with the glaring evidence against her. This raises one question. Would Karen face harsh consequences for her actions? Karen was indicted for first-degree murder on August 30th, 1995, along with the charges appearing from her previous assault. Due to this, she received a life sentence without the possibility of parole for at least 25 years. Karen also received an additional 22 years in prison for plotting Jon's murder. Peter was indicted for his role in the 1993 beating of Jon and was charged with second-degree homicide for murdering him. The jury sentenced Peter to 24 years in prison on September 5, 1994. He was released on parole in January of 2010.